A bankruptcy judge will now decide the fate of American Airlines pilots. That's after the pilots' rank and file soundly rejected the company's last, best, and final contract offer. Now the vote, not even close, 61% voted against it, 39% for it. The 6-year deal included graduated pay raises for pilots, the freezing of the pilots' pensions instead of eliminating them, and a financial stake in the new American Airlines once it emerges from bankruptcy.
We're certainly disappointed with the outcome of the pilot vote. There's no question about that. We felt the consensual agreement that had gone forward, the tentative agreement, was the best option for the company and for the pilot. Now we're just going to have to await Judge Lane's ruling and go from there.
So we have to wait, but right now we can continue the discussion with Howie Schack, a member of the Allied Pilots Association. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Okay, so 4,600 pilots voted against this. You mind telling us how you voted?
I voted against it, Heather. It was a lot of information. I looked at it very carefully. At the end, I just did not feel comfortable supporting an overreaching offer that was on the table. I just couldn't vote for it.
So what was the main issue, the main sticking point?
There was a lot of main sticking points, actually. Keep in mind, and we don't talk about this often on television, but for a quick review, the pilots, as well as many other labor groups, gave large concessions to American Airlines back in 2003, many of which are still in place today. And American Airlines today was asking the pilots to take another concessionary contract for what would have been another 10 years, and we just simply couldn't do it. It was filled with everything from scheduling items to the way we get paid to pension, long-term sick, and items like that. Okay, so now on the 15th of this month, a judge could make a decision, or on the 19th, waiting until the flight attendants vote. What do you think is going to happen? The company has indicated that if the pilots rejected the offer that was on the table, that they would in fact ask the judge to abrogate the contract, which essentially means to throw it out and implement worse terms than was currently looked at by the pilot group. They've indicated it's going to be pretty ugly. So things could, again, so it's kind of like, take this is, they say, pretty good, or you're going to get this. Correct. You guys just decided to take the chance? There were sort of two offers on the table, a bad one and a worse one. But many of our pilots overwhelmingly felt that we couldn't accept those. We couldn't relate to them. They simply were a major shortfall in what we expected in this negotiations. We were unable to support that. We are going to go back as a union and build unity, and we believe that the company must sign a better deal with the pilots. This is it wants to build a new American Airlines with a new business plan. They're not going to get support for it from the pilots with the offer that's on the table. Well, aviation expert Denny Kelly, he said there was some real division among the pilots and who voted which way. We're going to listen to what he had to say.
Within the union, you have two pretty disparaging groups in that you got these guys, the captains, who are making pretty good living, who don't have that long to go before they retire, and then you've got the first officers who are making a decent living, but they've got a long way to go. And so their attitudes and their likes and dislikes and wants and needs are different. And I would say that if you look at the 39% that voted for it, probably all captains, and the other ones are the first officers and some of the junior captains.
So is there anything that American could have done in their what they're calling their last best offer, to make everybody happy, to make it go with a yes vote? Well, let me first say quickly that with all due respect to Mr. Kelly, I just absolutely disagree. It was 61% overwhelming no vote, and there were numerous captains that I know personally, senior captains, that voted against this offer. But to answer your question, for the airline to succeed, to get the pilots on board, to have motivated pilots, they're going to have to fix some of the outstanding issues that they just simply didn't address. They just asked us to take long-term concessions. We're not willing to do that. So given all this, you still stand behind that no vote? Just going to wait and see what happens? Absolutely. I'm fairly confident that the company at some point, whether that be this week, next month, or sometime next year, they're going to realize that they eventually have to have motivated pilots flying the airplanes. And make no mistake, American Airlines pilots love our jobs. We like being pilots. We love flying our passengers. We take airplanes to very challenging airports all over the world. And we like being pilots for American Airlines. We simply want to be paid the same way pilots are at Delta Airlines, Southwest, and United. So what are you going to do, though, if there is this worst-case scenario? How you accept it and move on? I mean, have you thought about that? We're working on that. That's something the union will have to figure out, what is the best way to go forward with this company to get them to change their minds. They are focused on punishing the pilots. We didn't break this airline. They made long-term bad decisions for this company, and it's not up to us to fix it again. It's up to them to fix the airline. All right, we'll keep watching. We'll look for the 15th and see what happens for the judge.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Howie,
Thank you.
Thank you. As always, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.